Tonight, I am going to be reading my poem called Consume. This poem, I'm going to read it first. I'm going to read it first and then let me know how you feel, and then we'll go from there. Sounds good? Okay. What if I told you I want to consume you? If I said you were gorgeous and you not only felt but believed the truth, would you release you unto me? Planting kisses on your hands, your cheeks, those lips. Can I nibble? Are you okay with that? My darling, I love your heart, adore your mind, speak. Tell me about the stories, the ones that bend time like the way I want to bend you over, caressing your lips with mine. Scream for me, baby, please. Let me know I'm making you feel. I'll listen to your guttural groans and trembling thighs. Tell me what you want. I'll give you all I've got. So that is Consume. Now, when I first wrote Consume, it was me being a baby queer, which honestly I still am, and being brave and using poetry as a way to kind of be like, hey, bestie, so let me tell you something nice. I really want to, taste the forbidden fruits. you know? Um, I wrote this poem, and hilariously enough, their response to this was like, oh, like they loved the poetry. They loved the fact that I wrote them poetry, but I know that they were not. They said, oh, you wrote this for me? You know? One of those types of situations. So eventually that friendship dissolved, right? And I was like, does this poem still have that same meaning for me? Does this sit well in my spirit? Does this align with what I want? When I read this poem, is this truly how I feel? Or does it invoke something different in me? So as I reread it, reworked it, and I was writing it specifically for Psalms of a Sacred Slut, which is my debut poetry book. And if you would like to read it, that is in my links on my page. Um, when I was writing it, I was like, okay, sorry, backstory. So I created the poem, right? Then the friendship dissolved, right? Then I created a video for the poem. That video is currently living on YouTube and has gotten mucho views and many likes, mainly because I intentionally, when I created it, made it real borderline sexy. Not even borderline sexy. It was just very, very sexy. And I was as naked as I could be on YouTube without it being an issue. You know what I mean? That's when I realized internally that I maybe wanted to go over to OF, um, and enjoy my sensuality and my erotic existence over there more freely. But that's another conversation for another time in another place. But I literally, after I created that video, the video was me lotioning, oiling my own body, looking at myself in the mirror, adorning myself while listening to music, kissing on my own skin and pressing my hands into my body and feeling myself, you know? And I literally was like, this has a whole new meaning for me. I initially, like I said, wrote this for someone else. I created this as a way to put myself out there, but I was able to redefine the poem. And now it's really a poem about me gazing into my own mirror. This poem in my book, Songs of a Sacred Slut, and when I perform it on the 14th, is for the 14th of February. And if you want to learn more about that performance, head over to my link tree. It's in there, and I'm so excited. But anyways, this poem, Consume, comes right after a poem called Letter to My Inner Teen. And in Letter to My Inner Teen, it is about awakening. It is about accepting yourself, accepting the sexual, raunchy, deeply turned on, internal little teen that was like ready to hump everything, and awakening that within my adult woman body, knowing that I have the information that I need to keep myself safe, knowing that the fantasies that I desired as a young person can be fulfilled now, because we're not going to act like me and my best friends would sit at the beginning of school, okay? Print out pages from our favorite smut stories on Wattpad and literally read them and dissect them together at the table. Okay? Okay. You get me? We got each other. You understands? Okay, cool. Like that energy was very much there, but growing up, I grew up in the church. I grew up a pastor's kid. One second. Need tea. Like I said, I grew up in the church. I grew up a pastor's kid. And for me, I grew up in the Pentecostal church specifically. And for me, what was taught down the pulpit was purity above all else, um, a deep need for me to be just holy, but holy in a way that meant you have no desires other than for God. Holy in a way that meant you are not allowed to be horny or question or have desires towards another person or any of the things. Okay, I wasn't allowed that. I was raised in that type of mindset. So Letter to My Inner Teen is literally an ode to my inner teen and a reconciliation with her, saying, I was afraid of you, homie. Like, I was afraid. I was afraid of who you are. I was afraid of what you stood for. I was afraid of owning that space within my own body, within my own spirit, because doing that meant honoring something that I wasn't ready to move through or be brave enough to move through, to be quite honest with you. That's really what it boils down to. But then in growing up, in changing, and in opening myself, I have realized that I desire nothing else other than connecting with this beautiful, sensual, sexual, erotic inner self, inner teen, inner woman, whatever. And so in my book, right, Letter to My Inner Teen comes before Consume. And I really feel like it sets a beautiful, perfect stage. And I'm really looking forward to performing it on the 14th of February because I want to consume me. I desire to know me. I desire to sit with myself and to honor myself and to go into these spaces of deep craving and deep desire and deep enjoyment. I desire not to be afraid of it, but to truly enjoy the fullness of my erotic, sensual expression. And that is powerful. And that is potent. And that is beautiful. It makes me so happy that I was able to transform these words that I initially dedicated to a whole nother being to then be able to look at myself and say, no, I want to consume you. I want to know what it feels like for me to tell you that you are gorgeous. And you not only feel it in our body, but believe it as an actual truth. Once you got to that point, would you release yourself unto me? Would you be willing to be more open, more honest, more vulnerable, more sensual, more crazy, more of all of the things that people tried to ask us not to be? Would you release that version of yourself into my arms? Would you ease? Would you breathe? I like to plant kisses on my wrists. I love to hold like my own face quite often. I'll do like this, you know? I love to like a nice little sensation play situation would be to do like a nice little rim with my tongue at the edge of my lip. Because there, interestingly enough, a lot of it feels like a lot of nerves are right here at that edge place. And asking my own self for consent. That line that says, "Can I nibble? Are you okay with that?" We have a tendency as people to not really ask for consent most of the time. But if we are thinking about consent, it usually is in regards to others, which makes sense, right? Like, I get that. I do fully. But when we have been raised in a society who kind of just takes whatever it wants, if you let it from your body, from your mind, from your spirit, you get really used to Not asking yourself, am I okay with this? Is this something that I actually enjoy? Is it something that I actually want? Or am I just doing it because I'm here and it happens to be here? Like this statement, can I nibble? Are you okay with that? Is very much attuned to the same idea of you doing self pleasure at night and it being just like an automatic thing. Just lay down, had a rough day, lay down in your bed, pull out the the favorite catalog of ethical adult content and or whatever adult content, and then you pull out your vibe or whatever the case is, whatever you're using to pleasure yourself, and then you're just like buzz 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 buzz, orgasm, we're done, yay. You know, like, did you ask your body if that's what it was really craving in that moment? And I still have to ask myself this. I think, well, I'll have to ask it for the rest of my life because it becomes, of course, easy to be complacent with yourself, especially when we want like a quick fix, right? But pleasure is our key, I believe, to genuine sovereignty. And sovereignty is nothing other than authority and the right to govern oneself, to create the rules for oneself, to create the boundaries for one's self. And so getting in the habit for taking up the practice of saying, let me ask myself what I want and wait. Ask myself, what do I desire right now and wait to actually hear the answer, not to rush into it, and then not to deny yourself when it speaks, you know? And then, of course, the next lines, my darling, I love your heart, adore your mind. Speak, tell me about the stories, the ones that bend time like the way I want to bend you over, caressing your lips with mine. That is one of like my favorite like tidbits that I've ever written. Like it is so erotic and it's so deeply sapiosexual. And I love that for me. I love that. I love that. I love that. And I love that for any of the sapiosexuals out there. Shout out to us. Shout out to the people who like really enjoy their mind being played with. You know what I mean? And like hearing beautiful stories, hearing me speak to myself. And this is going to sound conceited. Hearing me speak to myself is probably one of the most beautiful and erotic things. Because I'm like, damn, girl, you got thoughts. Like real provocative, beautiful thoughts. And then you got silly thoughts. Silly thoughts that make no sense whatsoever. And then you have brilliant thoughts that can create new world orders. And then you have these just, like I said, really silly internal thoughts. And all of those thoughts I desire. Every expression of those thoughts I desire. Even the thoughts that are like ever so slightly violent, I desire them because it makes you you. And then you craft these stories through these thoughts. You say these words and it makes me literally just want to bend you over. and get to nibbling and get to worshiping because, yeah, the juice is juicing and I know the juice finna juice down there too. You know what I mean? Like truly, truly. Um, and then it's once again in the last couple of words saying that I'm really going to be intentional about listening to my body, listening to my guttural groans and the trembling of my thighs, allowing myself to actually tell me what I want and not to pretend like I don't, or not to rush through it to get somewhere quick, but to really sit in the pleasure and feel it, really feel it. So that is consumed. And the story behind it, and kind of just the genuine breakdown of each of the stanzas. Like I said, the video is on YouTube. I don't think I'm gonna post the video here on Substack. I want to create a new one because that video, I'm grateful for that video at that specific time because it definitely was me allowing myself to stretch, to show up as an artist, to honor what I wanted. But I have a deeper vision for it now, and I really want to make sure that that is fully coming across in the way that I create the next version of this video for Consume. So I'm very, very excited about that. I am going to be working on that this year. Um, and I'm very, very excited about that. Very, 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 very. As poetic, darling, I really want to thank you for hopping in here with me, for sitting and listening with as I spoke and laughed. I hope you laughed. I hope you had fun. I hope you felt something. I hope you experienced some semblance of joy while listening to me on this wonderful evening. I'm going to read the poem one more time, and I'm going to take a deep breath so that I can be a little bit more present with it and be honest in a way that is deeply right, in a way that really honors the energy of this poem. So, what if I told you I want to consume you? If I told you you were gorgeous and you not only felt, but believed the truth, would you release you onto me? Planting kisses on your hands, those cheeks, those lips. Can I nibble? Are you okay with that? My darling, I love your heart, adore your mind speak. Tell me stories, the ones that bend time like the way I want to bend you over, caressing your lips with mine. Scream for me, baby, please. Let me know I'm making you feel. I'll listen to your trembling thighs and guttural groans. Tell me what you want. I'll give you all I've got. That is it for this evening, darling. That is it for this evening. I had an amazing time here. But I'm really looking forward to continue to doing these lives. As of right now, they are on Thursdays. I may move them to Wednesdays. Possibly. Just because Wednesday hump day. Have a little extra perk in your step in regards to, listen to some poetry. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you have a beautiful evening. You deserve it. Bye.